Welcome to episode 6. In today's episode, we go through a few topics. Inner work, asking questions out of pure curiosity, learning and expressing what we've learned and how that can help you feel fulfilled, and expressing gratitude consistently for the smallest of things. I appreciate you tuning in so much. If you enjoy and learn, do me one favor, drop a rating and review on whatever platform you listen to. I appreciate you and it means the world to me. Thank you. Hey, if you're interested in coaching, reach out. I'm willing to do an hour to 2 hours and we can look through any issues in your life. I will never be able to change your life, but I can show you the principles so you change your own life. I need you to know that by listening, by working on yourself, you are actually having a big effect on the world. Just trust that the work that you do each day to become the best version of yourself will transpire into a positive, more healthier, intelligent, and loving world. You have to do the work because you can't pour from an empty cup. So today I wanted to start with making time for the inner work. The inner work, for everyone, it's going to be different because none of us are the same. So I can really work from what has changed my life and hope that I'm not too different from most of you guys. But what areas of your life are really lacking? That's a good question to always ask. And from that, it just begins with noticing that things might be able to get better. Within my life, I've had many situations or scenarios that I fell into a rut or a routine of unhealthy habits. Now, these habits are going to be different for everyone because none of us are going through the exact same thing at the exact same time, but over the span of our lives, we're going to experience many of the same feelings, negative or positive thoughts, and over a longer period of time, it becomes known that humans go through a lot of similar emotions. And how can we grow from our traumas or mistakes that we've made? Or just bad, rough, emotional experiences. I mean, that's probably the same thing as a trauma, right? Well, it really comes with noticing. And by noticing, if you always have a tendency to speak negatively, that has to be worked on. And a method of improving the self-image, you could read books. Reading is a beautiful thing because it slows time down. It forces us to be locked in. We learn, vocabulary increases and expands, and it is, if you are focused and fully present in the text, it is an experience. It's something phenomenal that humans take the time to think out and go through the thought process to write books. I might be talking to some authors, but I don't think I am. And I say that because writing a book has to be terribly challenging. It's very time consuming and it requires so much effort and energy to go through what you're thinking and put those thoughts into a well-constructed forum that goes from, let's say, A to B and C to D. It is very powerful that we can go and purchase a book for, an hour of wages, and that's a new book. You could buy used books for very cheap. This is part of the inner work. You can go through life drinking alcohol and going to the bar, doing things that are, I'm not saying that you don't get any benefits from that. You might grow friendships and have some fun relationships, but the sustainability or the compounding factor of going to a bar in comparison to reading a book, we're going to get so much more out of reading a book. And I don't want to bash anyone who's going to a bar because that's just not something I loved, but I'm sure you could make time to have those relationships and read books. And the inner work can come in so many areas. Maybe you still do want to go to the bar because that's what you enjoy. So how about you just work on your scheduling and maybe do it a little less and implement reading into your schedule. If you're not doing it at all, a little bit. And over time, if you build a good habit into your schedule and you're doing it a little bit, notice that the benefits are occurring, and now it's time to ramp up the time that you spend on the good, healthy habits. It really, the routine and the consistent aspects, like I would not be happy, and I can tell you this with a fact, if I didn't do a certain few things. Let's go through that list of things that keep me grounded, because if you're not doing them, you might consider at least trying them and see how they make you feel. There's no way that I could guarantee that the things that have changed my life, that have made me healthier, smarter, happier, more confident, there's no guarantee that those things are going to do the exact same thing for you. Clearly, we're all different and we all have different environments, personalities, and each scenario is different. But let's go through some of those things. Reading, getting fresh air often, working out, whatever workouts you want to do. There are so many avenues of physical exercise. The diet, I've been working and trying to figure out what makes me feel the best, and I think I found it. So recently, and there is a calculation, so if you're interested in this specific diet, you can check out Alex Hormozzi on YouTube, My $100 Million Diet. And the basis of it is you have a table for what goals that are in your horizon. And from that table, me personally, I'm looking to have high muscle and low fat. So the specific amount of calories for my weight is about 2,800. And I'm not counting calories. I'm broadly, just roughly counting them. Not every single piece I eat, because that is just tedious and I'm not a fan of spending time inefficiently. So the basis of this diet is I need to have 1,000 calories a day from protein, and I could get my protein anyway. And after my 1,000 calories of protein, then I can eat whatever I want. And there's another portion of that diet. Your volume of workouts has to translate into your goal of your daily calories and the amount of protein that your intake is. So it's all about what your goal is, and then you use the information on the chart to get to that goal. And I know my goals are going to be different from your goals, but the basis is you use the chart, and there's a foundation and each person adjusts it specifically for their horizon. And that's a beautiful idea in general, is we're all going to be different. No one's going to be the same, but there are principles and fundamental truths that are going to benefit every human. So, what did we get? We got diet, exercise, routine, nature, which fresh air, walks, reading, how we fuel ourselves, which for me, podcast or YouTube videos that I'm learning. And then we all need to make money. So there needs to be an avenue of generating wealth that you don't hate. And while you're going down this avenue of generating wealth, we should work on relationships to network and build bridges with other like-minded people. You need a balance of helping, supporting humans in your life. A consistent one, a business one, someone who checks you, someone who loves you, someone who is very unique and brings new life and adventures to the table. And there are even more people that you need in your life, but those are just a few of the different characters that one should have building your support system. Isolation is 100% going to dampen your potential. If we don't surround ourselves with people that we can grow from or support them, as a human, we require so many different things. We want to be someone who can help others. That is directly a reason why I make videos and try my best to educate myself, because it is a fulfilling feeling to know that I am aiming to change lives for the better, aiming to educate people in a way where they understand everything you need is inside of you right now. Everything, your biggest dreams, your biggest goals, you are capable of it all. Nothing is going to change from who you are now to who you are once you accomplish those dreams. And I am talking in a very deep manner. The inner self, the conscious, the soul, the spirit, you can use different words for it. And I don't want to put the I into one basket or one word, because it is so deep of a knowing that you can't just label it. The thing with labels is you can ask a very general question, and based on someone else's beliefs, they are implying something. They are implying their own perception of that label into the question. So if you get a question, you have to understand that that person already has a set of perceptions and beliefs that are intertwined with that question. And it's our job to be able to unwrap the ideas, the set perceptions that a person already has prior. And I hope that makes at least a little sense when we talk about the deeper aspects of what's the word? I can't really figure it out. It's the deeper aspects of life in general. And each person has their set experiences that might shift how they view a certain thing. And it's very important for us to be curious when we're talking to others and having conversations, to really be fully present in a way that that focus allows us to really unravel the person's thoughts and what they're bringing to the table. So, big side tangent, but let's get back to the inner work. And expressing what you learn is a powerful thing that is going to benefit you. Because when we are writing, reading, exercising, doing healthy routines that make you feel good, that are not easy to get into, but once you finish the hard work, you feel wonderful. Over time, you're going to learn whether it's specific forms for a workout, specific vocabulary in general from reading, or how to articulate your thoughts in a better manner from writing. There's so many different ways that humans learn and absorb information from their experiences. And that kind of gets us back into the uniqueness of each personal experience. And when someone asks a question or says a certain thing or labels, you have to understand that that is what they are specifically assuming or predisposing due to what they have been through in their specific lives. So we could both say the same word, God, but have completely different perceptions of what God is. And that is a astronomically, not confusing, but deep conversation. And I'm not even to the point where I can unravel it myself without having someone to guide me through that. So embracing what we don't know, oh boy, that is important. I am on the journey to educate and help others. I'm also on a journey myself because I know there's so many things out there that I am just fucking clueless about. So to really accept that we are learning, we are working, and there are goals and dreams ahead of us, but you, me, we are not superior to anyone. We are simply human beings on the journey of being our best with the drive, the end goal of creating a positive effect on everyone in the world. Because what else can we do? Do you want to squander the opportunity we've been given? Think about this. History is history. There wasn't technology back then. The opportunity we have with this technology and the ease of life. Don't get me started. I know life is hard, but the ease of survival. So many of us have houses and heat and Wi-Fi and these phones that are so powerful. You can do so much with. But don't get caught in complacency. We have to understand with a broader lens of life in the world and the planet. Humans are from a creator. The creator, the word creator is beautiful because it doesn't have too many predisposed assumptions linked to it. The creator is simply the being that has generated everything. The universe, the humans, the sounds, animals, light, water, all of that is generated by the creator. And no assumptions about this creator. What we should understand is there's two choices. There's good and there's bad. We have to be aware of the bad within ourselves. Because I've done things in my life that have made me feel like shit. Maybe not in the moment, maybe not the second that I did it, but I had this guilt. Where did that come from? It came from me. Me as a derivative of the Creator. Channeling through, let's call it energy or frequency or consciousness, channeling into me, letting me know that the path I was going down, the actions I was taking, the thoughts I was thinking were unjust. They were lower frequency. They were beneath my proper energy levels. They were dampening my potential as a human, as a being. Now, man, I hope that wasn't loud, but now it is our job to take the opportunity that we have with the technology, with the resources, the abundance that is at our hands. Shouldn't we feel inclined to do the most with what we've been given? Rather, our two options: squander the opportunity to not impact the world in a positive manner, but to be bad, to do wrong, to go against the potential that we've been given. It's hard to explain specifically how I feel, but to look with a broad lens is a good foundation to understand how lucky we are. Gratitude is better to be noticed and to let the people who have blessed us know how we appreciate them. And the best way to do that would be not squandering what they've done for you. Think big, think broad. Your parents, they have sacrificed, let's not say that word. They have put so much energy into you. They have given you, bestowed all their efforts. And I know some parents have done much better than other parents, but I'd like to think that they all have tried their best. Maybe some haven't, but let's stick with the idea that the humans are trying their best. I need to try my best to impact others in a manner that helps them grow and guides them to be their fullest potential. So, gratitude is very, very powerful as a tool to keep the mind healthy, and it is very underwhelming how much focus is spent on the mindset and gratitude, appreciation, doing your best and achieving your potential in schooling, in education systems. It blows my mind how we can go from 1 to 12th grade and not have any classes on the mindset, any focus on strengthening how our thoughts are wired. That's why I'm doing this. First of all, I feel amazing after I'm done talking about this type of information. Why? I don't know exactly, but it makes the energy within me more positive. And there's good and bad. You can do the negative things like not even being comfortable with your thoughts, that is a common thing. I'm willing to bet as high as 75% of humans cannot sit comfortably with their thoughts for 15 minutes without reaching for their phone, without being distracted. And that is a plague that has occurred recently. We need to get more present, more focused. The ability to wire or to just do the inner work of channeling through your thoughts, working through the rhythm of how you perceive things, asking yourself, okay, I think that, why do I think that, and really trying to get outside of the normal box, because it's very common if you do something for long enough, even if it's not true, lies become truth if you repeat them long enough. And so the question, am I telling myself lies? What in my life might be corrupted, maybe by your own mind, in a way that it is inhibiting your potential and limiting you from the areas that need your work, that need focus, that require a bit of adjusting? We have to ask questions, and it's very common as humans to find ourselves on a negative path, to feel just not good and unhealthy emotions, feelings, and thoughts. So to be grateful, to appreciate the smallest of things, it puts yourself back online with the positive frequency that channels you into a curious being, or into the want to learn. There's so many things that we have to stay away from that really capture you and trap you in a rut. And the things that have hurt me the most are when you get stuck in an unhealthy routine, whether it's blaming others. That's just never really helpful. As we blame other human beings, we're avoiding even looking deeper into what we do, how we think. And it's using a escape route, essentially. You're avoiding doing any of the inner work by blaming other people. So instead of blaming other people, please look back into yourself and simply be curious and open to the idea that you might not be perfect. Because a lot of people don't pay any attention to the fact that they're not perfect. Instead, everything else but them needs work. And holy shit, that is a good way to end. Those people, oh, I hope you're listening. I hope, because I've been there for sure. And it's not a good place to be. And once you realize that you're not perfect, that you have work to do, that you'll never not have work to do, that's when you can really be your best and reach your potential. So please, if you learned and enjoyed, just show some love. Simply, I have a fee. You want to know what the fee is? It's sharing this by word of mouth, or a phone call, or a text message. But don't just share it with someone. Share it and tell them why they need to listen to it. Tell them exactly the benefits that you are getting from me expressing this. I hope that it's helped you. I know it's going to help you, because there was a point in my life where everything felt horrible. And by doing the inner work, by being grateful for the smallest of things, your life can change, and it will change, I promise you. Nothing amazing happens overnight. So be consistent with reflection and look to challenge yourself every day. Don't get comfortable, but enjoy being uncomfortable. Enjoy changing things. Please drop me a rating and review. Let me know any thoughts, any ideas of future content or future topics that you would like me to listen or talk about. Just all platforms. Rating and review. I appreciate you. Just have a wonderful day and do your best to be present. Enjoy the small things, the birds, the sunlight, the trees. Enjoy yourself. Thank you.